What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, a little update. Today is January 20th, 2026. I'm currently recording this right after getting off work. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I sound a lot better. I definitely look a lot better, seeing as my light bowgun build on Monday didn't have me in it whatsoever. It was just me talking over the gameplay. I'm still popping cough drops like they're going out of style. But other than a pretty severe cough, I won't lie, that's got some pain in my throat, we're doing a lot better. We're getting over it. We're about a week and a half deep, but we're almost done. But all that aside, let's go ahead and get into today's build. Today's build is my God Roll RNG Dual Blades build. Now this one is going to be a little different in two different categories. And the reason for it is because I have two variations of this build. Okay, because this is RNG, I'm going to preface this with, you will need a Golden Age charm with critical element. You mean one level 1 attack weapon decoration slot and critical element level 3. Now, if you know anything about critical element, you know that it does not help a ton, but it is a 1.15 times multiplier on your elemental damage. So with something like Dual Blades, it pumps it up a crazy amount, which is where we have two variations in place. Okay, so on at least my Dual Blades, and what I would deem is the best variation, is elemental focus on both. Now the reason for this is because elemental focus is really good when it comes to applying element. Because Dual Blades attack so fast, they can apply element much better than most other weapons. Because of that, super important to follow element focus. Now, on top of that, at least in my opinion, Fire Dragon's the way to go. Most people are still farming Gagmazios, which means these are the two elements you're going to need. RNG number 2 is in the reinforcements. In your reinforcements, you kind of have two choices. One, go all element focused. You can see, unfortunately, I don't have that here. I have 3 element, 1 sharpness, 1 attack. Still a great roll. Don't get me wrong, it's great. You can go the element way, or you can go the attack way. Okay, this one is double element, double attack, 1 sharpness. Ideally, what you want to do is take your pick. Do you want to go attack with sharpness, or do you want to go element with sharpness? If you are doing a full elemental build, I would recommend the element, because these are my Dual Blades, and I have 540 element on one and 576 element on the other, which is a lot. Okay, that's RNG number 2. You got your charm for 1, you got your rolls for 2, specifically on the reinforcement. Next up is Raydow's Voltage and Lord's Soul. Now, most people are going to tell you, oh, rock Gormagala, go for Gormagala's Tyranny, the whole bit. They're not wrong, but what people need to realize is that you can get it still using the 2 gore pieces like we used to back during the early days of Monster Hunter Wilds, seeing as we're almost a year into this game's life cycle now. Okay, the reason I go for Raydow's Voltage, especially on Dual Blades, is because Raydow's Voltage is insanely good for Dual Blades. What Raydow's Voltage does is it extends the activation time of Latent Power. Latent Power is exceptionally good on Dual Blades and on Bow for 2 reasons. 1, it's an affinity booster. 2, it's a stamina depletion tool. Meaning, not only are we getting the bonus of the affinity that everybody else gets from Latent Power, but because we're playing Dual Blades, we get to take advantage of the stamina depletion being reduced by 50%, which is huge, okay? So, because of that, my RNG God Roll is the Raydow's Voltage with Lord's Soul. The reason we're doing that, mixed with everything else, is because you are able to get, thanks to Arch-Tempered Jindahad, Coalescence level 3, and start building into Weakness Exploit. This has become a build all about elemental crits, okay? So, all in all, those are your big RNG pieces, okay? Thunderous Roar, so Raydow's Voltage with Lord's Soul. You want to make sure that it is an element focused with element or attack damage. I would say sway more towards element. And then on top of that, critical element charm. Now, next up on the build is our armor. The armor is going to be as follows, and the reason it's like this is because it is still RNG specific for some of the pieces, but you are also able to get away with just using it as is. All you need is Ray Dows, okay? Let me preface this with, to min-max this build, you need all of this stuff. To use this build and it be super, super good and effective, all you need is Ray Dows voltage. Lord Soul is great, but it's only a damage increase. Ray Dows voltage is the part of the meat of the equation, if you will, okay? So, we have the Analytic Eye, Alpha. We have the Ray Sandmail, Gamma. Dahad Sharp Braces, Gamma. Gore Coil, Beta. Gore Greaves, Beta. And then our Critical Element, Charm. Like I said, doesn't matter which it is. It just needs to have the one weapon decoration as well as Critical Element, okay? Now, if you can happen to get one like mine that does have the 3, golden. If not, that's okay. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our decorations. We'll touch on our weapon ones in just a second. To start, we go with Tenderizer Jewels. The reason we hit these Tenderizer Jewels is because it gives us Weakness Exploit level 5. On top of that, we have 1, 2, and 3 Refresh Jewels. This is for Stamina Surge. We already have Coalescence, which is really nice. Then we have our Sane Jewels. We have 1 Expert Jewel, 2 Physique Jewels. These 2 Physique Jewels plus this one here, so for a total of 3. Really nice because we already get some Constitution from the Gore piece that we're able to take advantage of it because we have that many slots available. So, if you are able to min-max this like I am with this charm down here, this is what you're going to go for, okay? But, and then we have our Sane Jewels, and we have 1 Adapt Jewel. The reason for the Adapt Jewel is just because it was an additional slot sitting there. Technically, you could slot this in with something else if you wanted to. However, you don't need Shockproof because you have Flinch Free right here, okay? So, all in all, with this build, we have Antivirus 3, Coalescence, Stamina Surge, Latent Power 3, Constitution 5, Wex 5. The reason Latent Power is okay with being level 3 and not any higher is because we're actually still building towards affinity with our weapon. Now, what I mean by that is, like I said, we're going to touch on the decorations. The decoration slots here are very hyper-specific for one reason. One, because we are using element-focused dual blades, you don't get hit with a negative affinity. Because you don't get the negative 10% affinity sitting on there if you already have an affinity roll, you don't need to worry about hitting a weak strike. However, since we are rocking Critical Element, we want to make sure we're taking full advantage of every crit that we can get, meaning we need as much affinity as possible. Which is why Expert Jewel, Expert Jewel, Expert Jewel. The reason you are rocking these Expert Jewels is because Critical Eye is going to give us plus 16% affinity. Mix that with something like Razor Sharp, because it is a combination decoration. Razor Sharp prevents 50% chance of no sharpness loss every time, which is really, really nice for dual blades. And then last but not least, you have the Blaze Handicraft on your fire weapon, Dragon Handicraft, Ice Handicraft, Thunder Handicraft, pretty much whatever element it is that you are creating this for with Handicraft. The reason we are going Critical Eye instead of Critical Boost is because we are primarily focusing on the elemental attack. Critical Boost is great, but Critical Boost increases the raw damage, okay? Not the element damage, which is where Critical Element comes into play. Meaning, with a baseline of 16% affinity, with all of our skills active, we have Weakness Exploit, which is hitting the invisible 30%. Meaning, with Weakness Exploit alone, you have 46% affinity, always. Next up, Latent Power, an additional 30%. Meaning you have 76% affinity. Now include Antivirus, 10% from Antivirus itself, plus an additional 15%, 25. With this build, you have a 101% set of affinity. Okay, now I understand Latent Power is not always going to be active, but that's why we have Antivirus here, to make sure that between the two of them, you are always at about 70-75% affinity. Okay, now that we've go ahead and touched on all of that, let's go ahead and break down everything as far as damage numbers go. So before I turn on any of the modifiers, I'm going to go ahead and do one swing of Demon Fangs. Or one swing of the Blade Dance. Give me one sec. Let me build up my stack. Perfect. So, one set of Blade Dance gives us 584 damage by itself. Now, if we were to turn on any of our skills, so latent power, coalescence, antivirus, let's go ahead and do this real quick. Get rid of the affinity. Perfect. Now, we have done everything that we need to. Now we are going to do, we have 548 damage. One Blade Dance with everything active hits 673 right there. So we have increased our damage by about 130 points. The best part is, though, is that this damage just skyrockets. One single Blade Dance combo, 1700 damage. If you do the normal combo, which is the one that I do, which alternates between Demon Flurry and Blade Dance, you can see that we are hitting 2700 damage. Not only are we hitting numbers like that, but we are getting to take full advantage of all of Critical Element with 71, a minimum 71, but that's actually incorrect because we have Weakness Exploit on top of it that isn't being showcased. 101% affinity with 238 attack. This build is absolutely crazy because it just pumps out so much damage. I've played this build quite a few times against Gogmazios, and there is just so much damage that I am able to do in comparison to other people that I have been hunting with. It is wild. You can see here, full combo, we are able to just unload damage. You can see there we finish our Blade Dance 3 with 135 on each tick. Now, if you are unaware, on dual blades, that's kind of crazy. This build is nuts. This is my min-maxed God Roll RNG Elemental Dual Blades build. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate all the support when it comes to you guys. I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the comments about getting well and feeling better. I appreciate all of it. I love all of you guys. Much appreciated. Thank you all for coming and watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.